Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the Tet Down King. Mike McNutted, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back at Wednesday night AMA. We are live and in person. Thank you so much for tapping in. And big shout out to my guy. I always fuck this up. This side. This guy right here. If you can't look at this fucking fresh and clean Saquon Barkley Kelly green jersey. Oh, my man hit me up. It showed up in the mail the other day. And even though it's the Jayden Daniels show, I got to pull it out, man. I can't not wear this.
So fresh and so clean.
Not wear this.
Yes, sir, baby.
Oh, it's so good, man. Mr. 205 in the fucking divisional round. Let's go, man.
Had to, you know, like it's
JayDay
crazy.
Don't know what's gonna hit him this weekend.
Well,
Saquon.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think about this game coming up, man? It's a big one. If you don't know,
If anybody caught the 4D pod with me and Maddie this morning, that dropped at midnight, you'll know that I'm always going to root for my man Jayden Daniels. Man, I'm tied to him forever. I love the kid so much. It's been so fucking awesome watching him play. And listen, I hope he throws for 450 and 5. You know what I mean? Like, I still hope he loses.
In and out.
I still hope he fucking loses. You know, like 63 to 62, something like that for a final score. Like that, Maddie brought up. You remember that Rams Chiefs game? Like, it was supposed to be in Mexico and then ended up being Mexico.
Absolutely.
Jared Goff
That game had no chance to play there because that field was fucked.
Yeah, I want that kind of shit. You know, I want that kind of game.
They both almost went for 50, and maybe even both over 50. It was crazy.
And it's rare for me watching an Eagles game that doesn't have any fantasy implications on the line whatsoever for me to say that. But that's what I hope. I want that to happen. I need that in my life.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how this game goes. Jalen Hurts, at least watching the last game, doesn't quite look 100% right either. So hopefully,
well, he's got that knee thing now too.
Yeah, I know
and that man looked high as shit post game. He looked like they definitely shot him up pretty good.
Give him a needle, some kind of a needle. Yeah.
Up until that point, I could honestly defend him.
Right.
You know, there's like, well, they won the game, but he only threw for this. It's like, well, what'd you start with? They won the game. Shut the fuck up. Like, that was the game plan, was to run the football. And I thought in the playoff game last week he looked really good to start. And honestly, even if you take like the full game into account, even after the knee injury, right, where he definitely got shot up with some good shit. I'll say this: AJ Brown had a drop fucking touchdown pass. We also had a terrible penalty. You know, I think we were within the 5 or at least the 10-yard line. We had a terrible false start on Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
That also took another touchdown off the board. That deep pass that he threw a fucking dot to Smitty that ended up being a penalty when Smitty got fucking smacked in the head. You know, I mean, you're talking about I think somebody had put it on Twitter. If you like add up those plays into it, like, I mean, you're looking at a guy who would have thrown for like 271 and 3 touchdowns. And would anybody be saying shit? You know, like he throws for damn near 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a fucking playoff game and has a 44-yard touchdown run, and Saquon Barkley goes for 205. Nobody's questioning anything at all, but it is what it is. Fucking just getting dubs, man. That's all I need. Just keep getting dubs, especially if it ends up with a ring.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think it was the correct decision? You got the Saquon on before we get to JayDay here. Do you think they made the correct call so far to not have him play the final game?
Yeah, I think it was probably best, probably for his head. And honestly, from all reports, I don't even know if he was actually ready. Like, I don't know if he was. I mean, if it was a must-win game, yeah,
Well, I mean, if it's a must-win game, they're gonna throw everybody out.
they're gonna
there.
play him. They would have
Yeah.
trotted him out there, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's kind of the way the offense has been all year. To be completely honest, I don't think his pass attempts on the season is anything to write home about.
No, I'm sorry. Saquon sitting the final game of the regular season.
Oh no, it's fucking bullshit, man. No, I still fucking hate it. I told you we had a little talk about that. I think on this fucking show, to be exact. Like I wanted him to fucking play. I wanted him to go for the record.
I know.
You know, unless this season ends up with a fucking Super Bowl, nobody's gonna remember it.
But that's what I'm saying. Right now, they're two wins from winning the Super Bowl.
Well, what if we could have the Super Bowl and the rushing record?
Well,
I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
Of course. I think, especially, Mike, what's the most meaningful game Saquon's played in before being an Eagle?
Did he even make the playoffs with the Giants?
I believe that first year they actually were one game and out, if I remember right. Didn't they go 9-7 that year? I want to say
maybe. It would have been like one of the Odell years. You remember when Odell did like the Miami boat?
Yep.
Yeah, and then they got fucking bounced.
Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. Actually, postseason.
You might be
games.
right. That might be his biggest one.
Well, I'm trying to see here. So playoffs. Let's go to just
I always
playoffs
want to call
overall.
it the sex boat, but that's Minnesota. Remember that one?
Oh, actually,
Like
Mike, it was I take that back. It was 2022 season. Believe it or not, Jayden Daniels. Remember, they beat Minnesota actually, and then they lost, and Philly gave them 38-7.
Okay.
Point of that is that like one thing I think you can kind of put into perspective if you're Saquon Barkley is there anything more important right now than team than to Saquon Barkley?
We can say that because he is a very, very vocal team player, like we saw it early in the year.
Yeah.
But I think by all accounts, I mean, they even kind of reported on it during the game last week that Saquon himself said, like, I wanted it. I wanted to play. I wanted to go for it. Like,
well, as a competitor, of course you do.
Fuck what they said.
Of course you do as a competitor. But what I mean by that is, I mean, look at literally what a difference in a team can do for him, especially, right? Yeah. Like if you're looking at the team perspective of it, Saquon Barkley was basically there are people out there, Mike. I mean, at this point, you can kind of RIP to them, but said that he never lived up to the bill. He's not actually as good. He's not as talented as we've all thought because he was playing in New York. Like that, Mike. That's the sentiment that was existing because of that shit.
So I know fantasy receipts has really tailed off. As of late.
Fantasy receipts, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like the account in general, right? You hide by anonymity, right? And keep teasing that you're gonna expose yourself at the whatever the fuck it was. Like like that shit's like run its course. But I did see a fantasy receipts tweet. And it was some fucking dipshit talking about how Saquon Barkley's not elusive or explosive anymore, and this move to the Eagles don't fucking matter, or nothing like that. And yet here we are. Not only is Adam just winning jerseys left and right off of poor Nick, like poor fucking Nick, poor Nick Ercolano. I mean, he just doling out fucking jerseys to everybody.
You might as well just get me a company card to the Fanatic site or whatever, you know.
But like Saquon still, one, got the juice, and two, still extremely, extremely fucking elusive. Where like, did you watch that 72-yard touchdown run in slow motion, like the end zone angle where they zoomed up on it?
Yeah.
Where there's like he makes one cut and he's only like 2 yards, 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and there's already offensive linemen throwing their fucking hands up, like he gone. See you later.
No, I mean
he's like 40 yards away from the end zone. He's beating on his fucking head. Like I got this.
If you like in high school, Mike, I'm sure you remember playing like the days where like we had a kid that went to Bowling Green. His name was John Pettigrew, and it was literally like all you got to do is get Pettigrew in space, and you're
was he Brandon Pettigrew's brother?
He might have been related because he was him. He ran like he ran like a 4.4. So like he was a freshman when I was playing, and all you had to do was get him outside in space, and he's just gone, right? That's what Saquon is in the NFL. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what's really crazy? 4 of his 6. So he's had 6 runs of 60 yards or more this season, including the playoffs. 4 of them have come versus the Rams. So that's insane.
2 in each game.
Yeah. So anyway, we got. You know what we got though? Speaking of cash, we got super chats. Stro, what's going on, Stro? How we doing, man? All right, let me.
Oh man, Stro's happy, man. They got Ben Johnson.
What do you think about that? You know what's crazy? I don't know if you saw that. Caleb got Ben Johnson played on a text. Did you see that before?
Yes.
Imagine getting that text and then being like, "Damn, that's crazy." But then Ben Johnson actually becomes your next head coach. That is hilarious.
Who was the Rutgers wide receiver for the Bengals? They got that on draft day.
What the fuck is his name? Is that
Sanu?
Sanu?
For the Falcons. Yeah, Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu. He got the same thing, but this is years ago or whatever. Yeah, Caleb got that shit again.
And it was also, there's a difference between the former last year's 101 and Mohamed Sanu. But I mean, it is still the same thing, yeah.
Listen, I'm not an expert on a lot of this shit. But it's got to be good, right? Like Ben Johnson is very good at devising an offense and play calling. I've seen some detractors saying that Ben Johnson doesn't want a quarterback like Caleb, right? Like he wants a guy who's going to be very system oriented and do what he's told, that kind of thing. And Caleb's too improv and needs to settle down and do all this shit. Obviously, Ben Johnson doesn't think that fucking way. Like he obviously he had his choice of where he wanted to go. Like he was probably number one on just about every single fucking team with a coaching vacancies board.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, the place I wanted to be is Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, he went in division, right? First and foremost. He went quickly, went very quickly.
Fast.
I mean, I put it like this. You could say that, but I'll tell you what he didn't continue to want is Jared Goff. So
he's like, we good. This shit's tapped out.
I've seen this picture before. No, I mean,
it's got to be good, man. It's got to be good for Caleb.
I do think
it's got to be good for Rome.
I think so as well. I think it should be good. The one thing is, it's always interesting to see, especially offensive guys, because of the way the game is, right? The offensive guys are there because they play call, right? They're play callers. They draw up the schemes and the scripts, man. And when they go to the head coaching duties, there's a lot more that comes on their plate. So there's a lot of things that get kind of lost in the sauce. Look at you know the drill. Look at Steichen, right? Look at Steichen in Indy and Philadelphia. I mean, I'm not telling you that Anthony Richardson isn't a part of it. I'm not telling you that the offense there isn't a part of it, but it's not always as clean of a transition as just calling the plays as the OC. So
side note, did you see the little blurb today?
Of which, I mean,
on A-Rich?
No. What do we got?
Stro, first off, it's a good thing, and I'm happy for you, man. Your Bears, they needed this, right? So, I'll go ahead and say it for you, man. Get fucking excited. Big things are ahead for this offense. Finally, we'll have a Bears offense that's, fucking competent.
BTJ or the 101?
But I'll say this, the little blurb on A-Rich, Adam.
Uh-huh.
A-Rich this offseason will be working out with the same guy that helped fix Josh Allen's throwing mechanics. Remember Josh Allen for the first 2 years?
Sure do.
Pretty dog shit. They ended up getting Stephon Diggs, which was a big part of it.
No question. Right.
But Josh Allen also went from a 50% completion guy to fucking upper 60s.
Yeah.
Like that.
15%.
And it was a ridiculous transfer. I'm not gonna say everybody needs to get on the A-Rich trade, Adam, but it's good news. It's good news. He's like, man, I gotta fix this shit. Something's wrong with me. I got this.
Bro,
not saying he's gonna be the Josh Allen transition, but here we go.
Bro, BTJ is ahead of Nico, ahead of Mahomes, on the heels of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Keith Trey. I mean, I had a feeling it was gonna get out of control, but this is just honestly getting
BTJ or the 101.
That's what I was.
Question?
Yeah. What do you got?
I think it's a fair fucking question, ain't it?
Yeah, sure.
Let me just say this. As it is right now, January 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had the Shrine Bowl. We haven't had the Senior Bowl. We haven't had the Scouting Combine. What I know on the surface level, and we've just started digging in, patreon.com/South Harmon if you want to be a part of Thursday night film sessions, which are also recorded in case you can't make them live. But so far, what we've dove into is Jeanty Jesus Christ, don't let me say Jeanty again, or some shitbird in the comments will be saying that I don't know ball because I can't say his fucking last name right. By the way, I'm from the Midwest. I'll say people's last names however the fuck I feel. All right? It's still Achan. All right? It's not Achan. It's still Okoye Boonham.
Well, I'm just glad that you're finally
guy
ready
even
for
in the
people to
league?
take you serious and say it correctly, Mike. You know,
It's Senat. It's not Senate. You know, lick my taint. I'll say it however the fuck I feel. But we've only done Jeanty, and we've only done Tet so far. And Jeanty was good, really good. Tet left a lot to be desired, to be completely honest. I think he's going to be a fine receiver, but I mean, this is like some people's 101 pre-draft process. Like,
nah.
Fuck. So, just with that being said, we haven't watched Shador. We haven't watched Travis Hunter in case he decides he wants to be a wide receiver full time. We haven't watched Cam Ward. Like some of these guys that should be in the conversation as well. Mm-hmm. If you ask me BTJ or 101 right now, with what I know, Adam, it's a fair fucking question. And you might just take BTJ, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I think right now, you got to remember, right? So we're playing football. And while we're playing football, the what have you done for me, especially lately right now, is absolutely top of mind. So the picks, though, will start to really gain a lot of momentum, I think, starting in February, the next 3 months, even more so than you think right now.
Man, we got Senior Bowl practice and shit. Like, the hype is going to start building.
Yeah. I mean, but like it really, really takes off it continues to take off to like high end degrees. Because, you get the Underwear Olympics and people are just so excited to draft. One of the things that I think people can't really underestimate, or they shouldn't underestimate, is how important for fantasy gamers drafting is. And in a game in which Dynasty, we only draft rookies, right? What the 101 means because of that exact feature, right? Brian Thomas Jr. has already been drafted, right? All these players have already been drafted. There's only one draft every year with 4 or 5 rounds, right? Some of these bullshit leagues 3, So the 101 is going to just continue to gain steam. So I think, Mike, right now, if you take Brian Thomas, like I can't even fight it. I'm just looking at Keep Trade Cut Superflex. You're looking at the top 15 asset. So that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I think I would probably lean the 101, but knowing that I plan to let that value try to build and see what I can do with it. The main reason that I say that as well is whatever I need in Superflex League, right? This is talking Superflex especially. Now, if we're talking not Superflex, I'll just take BTJ, plain and simple. If we're talking Superflex, right? What can the 101 do that Brian Thomas just simply can't?
Go up.
But no, maybe, probably. More so, the 101, I can attach that to a bunch of different things and get myself to a quarterback, especially because there are going to be quarterbacks in this class that are drafted highly, right? Brian Thomas Jr. is a wide receiver, so as great as he is, I can't just say, hey, here's Brian Thomas Jr. and another player and go try to grab Jalen Hurts, try to go grab Jayden Daniels on the screen, right? That doesn't necessarily do that, where the 101 has a lot of chance to do that.
You're right on that one, right? Like if I offered you, say you got JayDay, right, the man on the screen, the man of the hour, you got JayDay, and I offer you Brian Thomas Jr. and like a first, for Jayden Daniels. You're like, nah,
that's not the game I'm looking to play, right?
If I offer you the 101 and another first for Jayden Daniels,
what can the 101 be?
For him,
right.
What could the 101 be? Yeah, right? Like that's your kind of thing. Like, what could it be? I man, if you got to make me make a decision on this one day, answer the question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean 101 right now. Now there's a possibility we get through all this, and I understand the draft value is going to go up, and people get more excited about it. But it's not ludicrous. It's not ludicrous to say that Brian Thomas Jr. might be worth the 101. I don't know. Like, I'm really hoping when I get to fucking Cam Ward film, I'm like, yeah, that's the dude. That's the man. Like, he's going to go out. In Superflex leagues, I'd rather have Cam Ward than Brian Thomas Jr. But there's a possibility I also look at Cam Ward and go, and me as the quarterback guy, like the Superflex quarterback guy, I'm like, yeah, I'll take the wide receiver.
No question. But again, like put it like this, right? Let's even say that it's not that. Just the 101 in and of itself carries that extra value too. Yeah, exactly.
Shiny.
Exactly.
It's like the chains around my neck.
Exactly. It's got that sex appeal, man. And whether you like Cam Ward or not, I promise you, the way you feel about him in April is going to change probably to a higher, better degree, right? Now, maybe in May, whenever the draft actually is this year, like if he ends up not getting the draft capital that we're thinking he does today, all right, fine. But that's the reason I say that. Anyway, long tangent. Let's get back to this though. Let's get to the point of the show here, and then we'll get to more questions.
Man of the hour.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels. Like I don't know where people are as far as actually thinking about it in a historic lens, but Mike, Jayden Daniels, when you look at the end of the results, regardless of what happens in this game versus Philly, he's going to already, in my opinion, just based on like what the stats say, what his wins are, not to mention the eye test and just the feel. He's had the best rookie season at a quarterback ever. I mean, he's got as many playoff wins as any quarterback does. He has taken his team to the NFC title game when they were the number 2 picking team last year, right? This is a guy that, as far as the stats go, when you're just looking at like percentage, completion percentage, all that, yards as far as rushing goes in today's football. And then the biggest thing is he continued to make plays like all year when like you had to have him, right? Those moments where regardless of if you're a rookie or not at this point, right? You're a quarterback that gets things done. You're a high level quarterback. They make plays when the game's at its biggest. He did that shit all year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think the Detroit game, you just look at it, the Detroit defense was really banged up, and you can say what you want about how much time they had off or whatever. But to do you put up, they're on pace to score 60 fucking points at halftime.
Yes.
Like,
mind you, I'm high as fuck watching this game.
They're on pace to score 60 on a defense that's got a coach going to the fucking to a head coach as well, right? Aaron Glenn. Like, Mike, I was just thinking about that. Like, is this guy really going to become a head coach? JayDay's got fucking 31 on him at halftime. You know, like
you thought Sam Darnold embarrassed himself his last
yeah. I was like, does that put a little bit of a chink in the armor? You know, sheesh.
Well, fitting he goes to the Jets.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. You know what the Jets want is another defensive guy, right? After the whole Salah thing, yeah. Right?
I was trying to find this tweet. I saw it today or yesterday. Of all the rookie quarterbacks who've ever made the conference championship game in their rookie year, right? Of all the rookie quarterbacks who have done it, every single one of them has had a top 3 defense behind them, right? So you'll talk about Brock Purdy making it to the conference championship game.
Yeah, he's
that 49ers defense was.
He's tied with Jayden as far as actual postseason wins, right? And you think about the difference and how that looked.
But those defenses were like lights out, legit. Commanders, they got an average defense. Do we want to call it average?
No.
Is it below average?
Well,
no. Okay.
What was the over/under set at for Saquon Barkley's rushing yards? 130. That's what they opened at 130. I mean, come on.
Okay. So below average defense.
Everyone knew for the Commanders, even if you didn't count them out, okay, even if you weren't someone that counted them out, which, by the way, I thought there was a decent chance they could win this game. I wasn't like saying they're guaranteed to win, but you knew in order for that to happen, they're going to have to outscore the Lions in a high-scoring game. Like,
so I have 2 certain facts when it comes to Jayden Daniels. If you ask me if Jayden Daniels had the best rookie season for fantasy purposes of a quarterback ever, the answer is emphatically no, because I watched Justin Herbert put up 23, damn near 24 fantasy points per game, right? Like, there's facts to back that one up, right? Jayden Daniels is a 23 kind of, a 22-point kind of guy. Justin Herbert was a 24 kind of guy. But if you want to ask just overall for NFL success, not only the fantasy points scored, the turnaround from being the fucking 3rd overall or second overall pick, whatever the fuck it was. All right, I've been drinking people. Anyways, a team that only won a handful of fucking games last year, Jayden Daniels now has them in the conference championship game. He went out, he produced. He's carrying a shitty defense. He's carrying a team with no weapons outside of Terry McLaurin. Can we all agree on that one?
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is like 8 billion years old.
De'Ami Brown is somebody again,
No.
He is. No. He is. No. I'm and Rob Brown saying, listen, I saw one of them. De'Ami, he was going all, pumping his chest out. And who had more yards? Come on now.
No, let's not do this.
Jayden did it. Jayden did it.
He took a historically dog shit franchise that has been in the dumpster forever. Literally shit franchise, right? Do you remember the video years back of literal shit pipes bursting in their stadium, just dumping raw sewage while people are at the game? Like, this is a terrible fucking franchise, and he took him to the conference championship game in his rookie year. So, all things considered, I think he's had the best season for a rookie quarterback we have ever seen. Production, etc. Russ did this. Russ had a great rookie year as well, but that was a legion of boom. That was a legion of boom. Joe Flacco did it, but it was with the fucking dominant Ravens defense. Ben Roethlisberger had a great fucking rookie year, but it was the Steelers defense. Like, their teams weren't relying on the fact that their quarterback had to fucking carry them. Washington relies on Jayden Daniels to be the heartbeat of that fucking team and to carry them. Sure. To do it by himself, to put the Superman cape on and do it. He's fucking amazing. He's amazing at what he's accomplished this year. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So, best rookie quarterback season ever. I would also say emphatically yes for me. Like, emphatically yes for me. The only caveat I would make is if you're just judging on fantasy performance, Justin Herbert fucking did it, but he only won 6 games.
I would say, if you to that point, Herbert, but I put him at 2. Herbert at 2. Because don't forget, because Super Cam was absolutely the best rookie season as far as fantasy goes. That dude he averaged like 24 and a half.
I forgot what
he played the whole damn game. He also scored almost 400 points in a 16-game season. So
what did his team do for success? Do you know? Did they even?
Cam's team was 6 wins. It was better than the 101 because they were similar. You know what? But that's a good example though to talk about what I was going to get ready to pivot into. Right. They drafted the first overall, right? You had that's the same type of idea, except Jayden Daniels actually had this team at 12-5 in the regular season, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy, my friends. Like, that is absolutely crazy. But
not just the production, right? The fantasy points production, but the fact that it translated into NFL fucking wins.
That's what I mean, right? And you look at it, right, Mike? So RG3,
Cam only won 6 games, by the way.
Didn't I say that 6 games? Yeah,
you did. You did. I was just reaffirming the fact that you fucking nailed it on the head, man. I
was like, shit. I thought so, but and you know what's crazy? I don't even think they had I should say that they had Steve Smith, so there was that. But it was similar.
Greg
like
Olsen.
They did have Olsen, yeah, and Olsen was a good tight end, but wasn't considered as elite yet because him and Cam ended up going crazy year after year, and then he became an elite asset. But to the point was more so like they had, they didn't have the proven weapons where Jayden Daniels, absolutely elevated Terry McLaurin to his best season, although it started really slow. But the difference is, man, you're looking at in the regular season, he's almost 70% completion. I mean, just give me 69% completion from rookie quarterbacks and tell me if anyone has even hit that other than Jayden. I mean, just rookie season, someone gave me higher than 69% completion for the regular season. Tell me if someone's done that. I would venture to say no fucking way on a full season of starting or even half a season of starting. Like, don't give me this guy started 2 games type bullshit, okay? I'm talking a whole season.
Legitimate.
So we just talked the NFL side of things. Mike, Andrew Luck. So let's see.
Nope, he never even hit 69 in his best season. So that's
a lot of quarterbacks don't hit. You know what? 69 is right on the door, right on the doorstep of like 70% Mr. Drew Brees year in and year out.
I was just gonna say that's Drew Brees level shit.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, honestly, when you start looking at it. And then you consider the fact that he only threw, I think, 9 picks. But at this point, like they could go out there and get absolutely slaughtered versus the Eagles, and you shouldn't give a damn. Like, they're supposed to already be done. They're supposed to already be done.
A long time ago. They weren't even supposed to beat out the Cowboys for second in the division.
And at least so far, what I'm seeing from him, Mike, the craziest part to me is, and I gotta believe that there's something to just being, to continue to playing as long as he has, transferring, having that extra year in college. He doesn't even seem phased in the biggest amount. Like, he honestly feels like it looks like he's playing a video game, or like he's playing a scrimmage, right? Like he's just out there, cool, calm, and collected in the biggest moments. So, to be honest with you, I think you'll have a little bit of a tough game, just because I don't think this guy's going to just walk away. I think you're going to at least have a game too.
Killer.
Yeah, he is, man.
He's a bona fide fucking killer. And
sure
you're right
did.
about his calm, collective, just like
demeanor.
It fucking amazes me where there's a pass rush that breaks right up the middle, and you're like, oh man, he's gonna take a horrible sack here, and just nonchalantly just gets around the edge and gets like 6-7 yards running the ball.
Or when he took a shot when he delivers a strike to whom? De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown.
He's smiling. He's a cold-blooded fucking killer. What I really want to know, and this one sticks with me, those Arizona State players who called him fucking trash and a fucking traitor and helped like pack up his locker room after he fucking transferred.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing now? Like, are they insurance salesmen, you think? Like, are they bagging groceries? This motherfucker goes on to win the Heisman. He's got his team in his rookie year in the NFC Championship game.
But there was also, like, think about it, right? You got Brian Thomas Jr. in Malik, who just showed you both these guys are considered the top two wide receivers in the game. There was a fair argument to be like, all right, well, maybe this because they had so much prowess at the receiver position, right? No. Yes, but no. Like, that's not the only reason why. No. Clearly, right? I don't know. Is De'Ami Brown as good as those guys? Tell me.
Second question I have is, how the fuck did Brian Kelly have Jayden Daniels, Brian Thomas, and Malik Neighbors and not do shit with it?
He did enough. They all got drafted hella high. That's exactly
they
what he
all
did.
got drafted in the. How'd you not win a national championship with this? Oh, you fake ass accent, motherfucker. Fuck him.
I don't know. I just, when you're looking at it from the NFL side, from the fantasy side, this is one of one.
The other day too, this irked me. Okay, like I love everybody who taps in with us. So just know I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this.
D-Bro's right too. Look, this was exactly the narratives, right? His receivers were so good, he couldn't slide.
This is the shit, okay? D-Bro's listing this off, and this is what made me think of it, because I saw it. I'm eternally grateful for everybody who's tapped in now, who watches this on the replay. I'm even more grateful for the people who subscribe to the Patreon, who really do support Adam and I and the rest of the South Harmon team. I saw it in the fucking Discord the other day, and somebody was like, he's injury prone. Like, that's why I don't like him where he is. Like, I'll take Bo Nix straight up over him. I'm like, what the fuck? I expect more from you. I expect more from you people. Like, how is this still a fucking thing? How is this still a thing? What are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know what's really crazy about that? One, he played every game. He did deal with the rib injuries, right? One of the most insane things that I still remember to this day that is wild. Jayden Daniels, you got Romo commenting on the game versus the Bears, okay? And he kept saying like how they got to get Jayden Daniels out when they throw the Hail Mary because he's not going to be able to get it there. And this motherfucker really threw a Hail Mary that won the game, and he stayed in there. Like, think about that too. All he did was play through injury, and he let's call it what it is. During those 2-3 games right there, he was not as effective for fantasy purposes, right? And even in the NFL side. But, like, he's injury prone? I don't know. He played every game of 17. I don't know what you want.
And to answer your question, Rob, yes, I am going to answer a question. I'm going to continue to yap about fucking Jayden Daniels. You can lick my balls, all right?
No, we're going to get to your questions. I still got them starred, but we're going to at least talk about this.
I'm on a soliloquy about fucking Jayden Daniels. I'm on the soapbox moment. It's a 2-day episode. 4D chest right into fucking AMA. I'll talk about Jayden Daniels for the rest of the fucking year, all right? I'm living off this one rent-free forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I think we've kind of already discussed everything really needed to be discussed. He did everything he needed to. They're 12-5. He had a great season. They're already in the NFC conference game. Beating the team that was as good as Detroit was, Mike, regardless of how banged up they were on defense or not, like in last week's game is just it's hard to understate how meaningful that will be for a young player.
Give me the list of Dynasty assets that are even in the same breath as Jayden Daniels for you.
I think
just ones that will make you, if you're in a startup right now, and all these guys are available, and you go like just ones that would make. We're
talking regular standard scoring for the sake of this, right?
12-team superflex lineup, start 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably 4 to 5.
Okay.
I mean, you could. I think you can go up to. I think you can go up to 8, and I'm really not going to have a problem with it if you have a preference at receiver position up to maybe 3, 4 of them. But honestly, like, I wouldn't put it at 8. I'm just saying. I think there's realistically like 8 is exactly. Once you go past that, there's just no way for me to argue or for anyone, I think, to even make a case. For me, the argument's going to be Allen, Lamar, Jayden, Burrow. And then probably Jefferson and Chase you could put in that mix too, right? Just because of the way that the receiver position is valued. Plus those two are delivering. Malik Neighbors for me, Mike, is still someone that I'm not going to put in that tier, but is very, very close because of his rookie season. It's not quite as great as Jayden's is realistically because of the quarterback versus the receiver thing. So I'm going to say it's going to be Burrow, Chase, Jefferson, Lamar, Allen. So what does that put me at? Burrow, Chase, it's 5, right? Yeah, I got 5, and that's in the same breath. I'm not saying I'm taking any one of those over Jayden or vice versa. I'm just saying I think those ones are in the same relative ballpark dynasty value wise. So, and I won't be surprised. You got 2. Who you got? Lamar 2. And who?
Josh Allen.
Lamar and Josh. Okay.
Now Jalen Hurts guy, man. This hurts my soul.
No Jalen Hurts.
This hurts my soul to say it, but I'd take Jayden over him.
I would
for
too.
Fantasy purposes in Dynasty.
I would too, and I think I'm taking, for the record, I'm not taking Burrow that highly. I just think right now the way people are valuing Burrow, he's gonna be going in that range. For sure.
Second question: if you're starting an NFL franchise right now, how many players?
Yeah, this is
overall, offense,
realistically
defense, whatever.
Realistically though, to this is probably where for me I would be drafting him. I think, Mike, at 3 if I was in a startup right now. I'll take him because I'm not putting Burrow ahead of him personally.
Here's the wildest thing to me, man.
I'm still taking Lamar and Allen ahead of him. I know that could seem crazy because they're not.
Jayden Daniels.
Go ahead.
Jayden Daniels, fantasy points wise.
Yep.
In his rookie year, with we've established pretty much Terry McLaurin. Only Terry McLaurin.
Well, De'Ami Brown, Ben Sinnott.
Put up just as much fantasy points as Joe Burrow, who has Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and T. Higgins, and Mike Gesicki, and was playing from behind because that defense was a fucking sieve, and threw for 5,000 yards and 43 fucking passing touchdowns. Put up the same amount of points.
Yeah, because of the ground game, which we've talked about.
It's a fucking cheat code. So for me to even put Joe Burrow in that conversation is asinine for me. Like everything went 100% right for Joe Burrow, and he did it. Congrats to him.
Well,
Jayden Daniels did this in his fucking rookie year with nobodies.
I mean, the one thing is though, there's just going to be narratives about, Burrow's he's gonna get T. Higgins paid. They're gonna keep him because he's talking about it, and you'll see. I mean, we'll see if that actually happens. I'm betting no, but He was up there on the podium making the case, so people are probably buying into it.
But I was going to ask you really, really quick before we move on and start answering questions for Rob Gronkowski loses his fucking mind and starts
I got the question started. We're good to go.
I know. You're good, man.
Yap it up.
But if you're starting an NFL franchise today, like hypothetically, this is fucking Madden where you do a fantasy draft and everybody goes back in the player pool. Every single fucking position. Every single player in the entire league. How many players for your NFL franchise would you draft over Jayden Daniels right now?
I don't think I'm doing it, period. I think I'm taking Jayden.
Ta-da.
I don't know how you don't. I mean, you've got longer. He's younger by quite a bit, right? You got those guys are great. Don't get me wrong, but they're 29, and I'm not saying that they're not going to be in the discussion for one, and you couldn't still take them. But what I saw, the poise from Jayden, like I'm willing to bet on that. I'm willing to bet on that.
I'm loving it, man. JayDay, 101 in fucking Dynasty for me. 101 if I'm fucking starting a Madden franchise in fantasy draft mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing if I'm playing Madden too? You know how it randomizes who gets the first pick? If Jayden Daniels goes before I'm on the fucking clock, I'm just deleting that league and I'm starting a fucking new one until I get the pick that becomes Jayden Daniels.
I love that. You just keep it.
And then I'm drafting him.
You just keep floating that money in league safe until you get the 101 in the league. Nope, I'm out. You guys can have this other one.
You lick my balls. Okay. I want your Justin Herbert. Fuck that.
Nah, I mean, I'm getting ready to do a overhaul, redo the entire rankings. I've already been working on it, but finish it. Mike, I'm going to have Jayden Daniels and Malik Neighbors significantly higher, I think, than people are ready to see them. Because we're getting ready to have a long time of off season, which is everybody starts looking at a number with excruciating importance, and that's the age number. So
let's rock.
Yeah. The one thing that's crazy too, I'm not trying to pivot the conversation because Jayden's insanely valuable and should be. Like Malik's not even 22.
Very young.
That's a number that should be you should be paying attention to. All right, so Rob has some question.
He definitely
Mr.
has some
Gronkowski.
question. He's fucking mad.
Yeah, is he? What's that commercial? He's trying to get the. Damn, what is that? Can't think of it now. He's trying to get it's like the
USAA. Auto
USAA.
insurance.
Thank you. There we go. Yep. Someone sent me a trade offer to get Bucky, and they are offering me Fields and a 26 first. Do I do it? My running back room is Bucky, Jacobs, Montgomery, CMC, Brandon Allen, and Gerwendo. Do we have more context? If not, should I try and trade one of my other running backs? If so, which one and how much? I also hold the 101, probably drafting Jeanty. Well, I'll say this. If you're going to draft Jeanty, then hell yeah, I'm doing this trade.
I don't think it's enough for me.
Really? I think it is.
Maddie kind of sold me a couple weeks ago on fucking Bucky.
I like Bucky. Don't get it twisted, but I also a 26 first. You already get the 26 first. You don't know how. I don't know how good this team is or not. A lot of times I like to bet against teams. I feel like if you're trading your 26 first for Bucky Irving at this time of the year, that's typically a sign I'd like to take your first on. But the biggest thing too is, I mean, I shouldn't say the biggest thing. Let me rephrase. One of the nice things about this trade is the excess piece is just what if Fields gets a job. Let me talk about this for a second. The Steelers 4-2 with fucking Justin Fields and 6-6 with Russell Wilson. How'd that go?
It's almost like we know something, huh? Maybe.
Well, everyone told me it was they made the right decision. They're not gonna. They went back to him. I mean, they did. They went to Russ, but they went 6-6 down the stretch with that guy, the better quarterback.
He's still
if Fields become, because here's the thing, right? Fields was a warp difference maker when playing quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers the first 6 weeks of the season,
and he was a winner for them. Won them games.
What the conversation of if he becomes and plays, right? Let's just assume that he's a backup for now. Let's say he again because of injury. That's what it was. If you look at it in hindsight, Russell Wilson was supposed to be the starter. He got hurt. He played 6 games. 6 massive games for you to give you points per game, similar to Jayden Daniels right here on the screen.
True. You ain't wrong.
I mean, that's the excess piece here to the 26 first, which is still liquid.
I don't think it's
especially knowing that you have the running back room that you do, right? If you're telling me you got Jacobs, Montgomery, CMC, and then you get to add Jeanty in, that's your plan at 101.
Let me
right?
ask you this one: Would you trade Jacobs for that?
I mean, I would much rather trade Jacobs than Bucky, but
okay, there we go. That's my feelings too. I'd be like, here, how about Josh Jacobs instead? It's not because I think Jacobs is bad, right? Like I ate crow on this one. I fucked up on the.
Hold on a second. His team is dead last. If you're telling me this team has a chance to be 101 and 26, it's not even a fucking question.
Yo, fucking give me that 26 101. Hello, Archer.
Even if you're telling me this is a team that probably doesn't make the playoffs,
more.
Right? Even if you're telling me, let's just say this team probably doesn't make the playoffs. I'm good. You can.
Yeah.
Y'all can take Bucky. I like Bucky, but
I would say offer him Jacobs instead. I don't think CMC.
Fields is definitely a question mark. I'm not trying to act like he's not a question mark, but one of the things that we know is about the question mark is if he is the starter, he has fantasy upside that few people possess. So I'm willing to like have him as a backup on my team. He's a person that I really want in my roster construction.
Yeah. Probably one of the most, if not the most valuable backup quarterbacks right now to own. I mean, how many other backup quarterbacks are offering you that point per game difference maker?
Probably not any.
Tanner McKee sure fucking ain't.
I'll tell you who did, actually. You know who people don't want to hear? You know who did? Malik Willis.
Yes. Malik Willis did. He did.
No, but but realistically, right? Like, the way I play this time of year would be to take that type of a trade. Now, I'll say this, right? At this time, because of how highly valued Bucky is, you don't have to necessarily just take it right away. I think you could say, okay, what would Jacobs get it done, right? Can I pivot to that as opposed to it? If that would get it done, I'm 100% doing that. If you want to say Bucky, can I get something else? Like, I think you have the right to at least explore asking for a little more, just because Bucky's, what is he? He's probably like running back 6 on fucking Keep Trade Cut. Let me just take a peek.
Pretty high. Probably like right after Achan.
How about running back 6? How about running back 6?
Nice guess, bro.
Jesus.
Is it right after Achan?
It's right after Brees. Achan and Brees.
I was in the ballpark.
Dude, he's a top 35 Dynasty asset. So, I mean,
God damn.
I don't know that that's everybody's feel on it, but the point is, I think you can ask for another piece or a different piece. Sure.
T-Rock brought up a good point, man. Fields going to start next year. I'm not saying
no.
It's a given.
I think that's the other thing though. There's the question marks and all the downside of Fields already exists. We already know it, right?
But
I think he very well could be a starter next season somewhere. I do.
If there was a quarterback class to make Justin Fields a locked in fucking starter from day one in this offseason, it's this one. It's like Shador and Cam and probably nothing else. Like that's what we're looking at. So yeah.
No, I mean Sam's like, what is his role currently is a problem. I agree. I think though that's partly why you're able to. If we knew that Fields was going to be a starter for some team next year, you're not going to be able to make that trade. No one's going to give you the starting asset of Justin Fields and a 26 first for Bucky. I don't think anyway. So all that to say, I think it's for me, given what you have at your team. Like, I just want to think. I want everyone to kind of think about why I'm the process for this. Why, for me, where do you think, Mike, and everybody listening? Like, you give me in the chat. Where can Bucky go? Right now, he's currently running back 6, top 34 asset. What can Bucky do for you? Let's talk about it like it's UPS. All right. What can Brown do for? What can Bucky do for you? Can he go to running back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? I would venture to say no, probably not, right?
Well, I would imagine Jeanty is going to come in after he's drafted in the first round.
Yeah,
over him.
Sure.
So he's gonna have a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a slide. Here's my thing, and Maddie put me onto this one.
Yeah.
Just the way he finished the fucking season was ridiculous.
ridiculously good.
And what if? No question.
What if Rachaad White is kind of an afterthought for this team, like kind of how we saw it towards the end of the year?
I think moving forward he's gonna be. I don't. Rachaad White's not the reason I'm changing their value.
So I would say in the offseason, I don't think he's gonna go any higher. But we get to September, Adam, and he's come out and Bucky's playing 60% of the snaps, 65% of the snaps if we're really lucky.
Sure.
And Rachaad White is really just a third down fucking kick returner, whatever the fuck that role was at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He could go up to like RB3-ish.
You think so?
I think he could. Yeah, I mean, if the dude's putting up 20-point fucking games left and right on 50% of the touches.
Wasn't A-Chain?
Yes, but the difference is
wasn't Bark? Wasn't Bijan and Gibbs?
This is the only difference I'll point out between him and like A-Chan.
Okay.
A-Chan did it just with a ridiculous amount of catches, right? Because the explosiveness wasn't there from what we saw the year
run
before.
Game wasn't Miami lost Robert Hunt, and their offensive line was awful. There was no explosive running plays for the most part.
Exactly, but it was just the guy was catching screen passes left and fucking right, like all over the place. But to your point, Barkley is still very good. Bijan's still very good. Jahmyr Gibbs is still very good. But Bucky could elevate himself in that conversation. I mean, he is putting up their level of production, their 20-point games.
Yeah.
But on a lot less of the workload. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
if you came out and you told me in September he's getting 65% of the touches, he's putting up 20, 25 points a game, kind of like he was towards the end of this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a realistic conversation because he's an exciting player. He makes fucking people miss left and right. Like he just doesn't give a shit about his size. Apparently,
let me on
that one too.
Well, let me give you an idea here. All right, tell me what these players all have in common. All right, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall, Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey. Day 1 or day 2 draft capital, right? Like you're looking. Yeah. What happened with Pacheco this year?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
What happened with Pacheco? He got hurt. It's not his fault. Not his fault. Now what? Now look.
People are saying Kareem Hunt's better than him.
Well, they're just ready to put him to RB21. He's still 24 years old. He's still probably be fine next year. My point is this: the up and down, the up and down. Where he can go up to where he can go down, there is a big difference. Right now, he could be Kyron. I'm not telling you he's going to like guaranteed to go down. I'm just saying in the range of outcomes here. When I look at an asset like Bucky Irving, I am on extreme alert. Like my head, I have a noise going off in the fucking back of my head. Like we are at top dollar. I'm not telling you I have to sell. I'm not telling you I need to sell. But I am looking to sell at this price if I can. If I can sell at asset 35. Now, granted, let's call it like this. Justin Fields in a 26 first probably isn't actually selling at asset 35 overall. But if I can sell Bucky at this point, it's not that I'm like actively want to move Bucky or don't think he's good. I just think that there's a lot of risks when I have an asset like him at this time where he's valued. I think you got mute.
I'd like to tear down from Bucky.
Sure.
To Chase Brown and something.
Well, of course. I mean, but no. What about can I tear down to Chuba?
Chuba and something? That'd be all right.
No, I think there's plenty of tear down assets. The way I view it though, Mike, is I view it like you're tearing down in that trade because you're getting a 26 first liquid and you already get to draft Jeanty. But anyway, I don't want to belabor the point.
I think he's right at RB6 right now, even though it seems high. But it's also like you can be right at that price, and you can still want to get off of the player. Which that's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you that he's like a destined to fail player. I'm just when I think of it in range of outcomes, I think there's a lot more he could go down than to go. All that to say, Rob Gronkowski, I'd rather trade fucking Josh Jacobs.
Well, of course, if he will give you the same package for Jacobs, I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Jacobs is going to be what? Let's see. He's going to be 27 here pretty soon. So yeah,
not super old.
Right? No, but I mean, risk-wise,
I kind of said it. I kind of said it on the podcast this week that
listen, I was wrong on Josh Jacobs and they just started fucking feeding him. But, what if Marshawn Lloyd, God decides that he doesn't hate him anymore? It's not going to injure him every 3 weeks.
What up, Trip?
Or what happens if A.J. Dillon, maybe doesn't suck completely? Is he still going to get 75, 80% of the fucking workload like he was there down the stretch? I don't know. I don't know if that's something I want to bet on. I don't know if that's like something I really want to ride to the grave. What if they draft somebody this offseason cycle, or they bring somebody in free agency, right? Like Josh Jacobs kind of feels like the guy that I want to sell right now, and then maybe reevaluate it in a couple months. And if his price dips down, maybe I buy back into Josh Jacobs then.
Always. DynastyTeamReview.com. I believe Mike and I are at, I think it's at 75 apiece for us. I just reviewed a team fucking a couple days ago.
I'm an expensive whore.
Yeah, well, I don't even think that's expensive. I think I'm charity giving. No, I'm just playing. No, happy to review your team for that. But go check it out.
Sure.
You can get whoever on the squad you want. You can pick one. You can pick all. You can have.
Hey,
I think for a discount, you can even say just whoever you want to give it to us.
Adam, Koopa, Eric,
E?
big shout out to
Koopa.
fucking E. E goes really in depth with those team reviews. I can definitely say, hand to God, I'm probably the worst. I'm probably the worst. All right, just so you know, full transparency. I will gladly accept your money, but I'm probably the worst.
I don't know about that. That's
no, I'm dog shit.
I love doing team reviews. By the way, we got some good things in the work with team reviews, but I won't. I'm not going to spoil nothing. So,
the man Trip Crown out here giving me shit too. Like I didn't even make this title or the thumbnail.
Just
Why am I getting the hate?
Just move
Fuck
jobs. So finally have time to jump on anime again. Okay, seeing these titles and Mike victory lapping every
Hey,
week.
fuck you, buddy. I didn't even make this one.
I mean, well, first of all, Mike's been victory lapping Jayden Daniels every week. So whether I put this as the title or not, we can just forget about it. But I put this together, and it doesn't matter who you vouch for early in the year, how much you liked or didn't like Jayden Daniels. You can't deny it. So I think with 4 teams left, it was the only thing to put on the title. But hey, that's just me.
D-Walk was so close. He was so close.
Does it cost more for both Adam and Mike double teaming a review?
D-Walk, I appreciate the effort. Right, number one, first part question. Yes, we're $75 a piece. Because we're both horses.
No, but it doesn't. It's not like an additional. You got the Mike and Adam double team, right?
And you said YJ, which I think. Listen, I could be wrong. You can correct me, okay? But I think was an homage to Beer Fest. And it's supposed to be ZJ. And if it's ZJ, if you got to ask, big fella.
Well, Dr. B says if you don't know what a YJ is, ...
Dr. B's even off on this one. It's ZJ. If you got to ask what a ZJ is, you can't afford it.
Hold on. Why? Quick question for both of you. Why do you hate Caleb so much? Don't get why he would go behind like Rome in that redraft.
What the fuck are you blaming us?
Well, now
Cornerstone?
Trip Crown in the Cornerstone number 1.
We didn't make the fucking pick.
Well, Mike and I Mike and I both had a selection, but we weren't the one. Rome, I believe it was Stroh, right?
Yeah, I didn't make the fucking pick. What are you mad at me?
But it's okay. I don't hate Caleb. Mike, I don't know. I won't speak for Mike. I don't hate Caleb at all.
Well, fuck me for.
Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie.
Well, fuck me for. I didn't fucking do it.
Listen. I think someone was just high on Rome in that draft. That was a person that wasn't us, and there was 12 people drafting. So one of the things that happens in a draft where there's 12 people is somebody's high or somebody's low, and
I tried to give the man props. Like I love the conviction. I wouldn't fucking do it, but I love the conviction.
In that Cornerstone draft, I'm trying to think here. I would have had Caleb ahead of Rome.
I forgot so much because the third round with fucking Ben Sinnott and somebody took Dorian Thompson. Robinson,
DTR. Those were 2 picks in a row. Yeah, but that was
Jesus,
at the end there.
Fuck. And Caleb's fine. I've kind of I thought I've been like a big Caleb.
He says vibes were down for both of us. I mean, I guess why don't we just talk
Caleb truther?
I was gonna say I guess maybe Trip Crown's higher than us. Maybe he's a Bears fan or something.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Because he's mad about the Drizzy Drake May thing. He's not mad about the Roma Dunze thing. He's mad about the and fuck you. I will stand on this business. I'm taking Drake May over Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think in general right now, one of the things that we didn't really talk about in the Cornerstone is I was pretty high on the majority of the assets that are going to be called like the top in the 24 class, top 8-10 players, right? And they're all at a ridiculous momentum hype feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I will admit, like, honestly, I think there's a lot that I'm going to try to cover this offseason that individual players you can have your feel and bias for. But, like, I'm just going to tell you this. It is highly unlikely that all these 24 assets that are, we talk Cornerstone, that people are viewing them as like they have to have them and they're like going to feed their families for Dynasty for forever. There's a lot to lose for some of these players, right? There's a lot of players that are going to probably dip in value just inherently because they're being drafted, all these guys, in the range that you got to start producing now to actually keep that value. When it comes to Caleb specifically, I mean, I don't know what you really want for a guy that didn't really do that much. He had some up and down weeks, right? When I say down, they were really down. He had some up weeks actually, though. But I mean, the guy's still, by the community, even though he's after Bo and after Drake May in this class and keep trade cut, he's still a top 12 quarterback. Like, I'm thinking value insulation for him has actually been pretty like rewarding, frankly, relative to what it could be for just anyone. I think that's because people still really believe in the player, and something like Ben Johnson going there now, I think his value is going to start to slowly rise this offseason. For me, I think that you can make a case for him ahead of Stroud. I think you can make a case for him in the same range as, like, you know, Drake May and Bo Nix. Let me ask you right now, Caleb Williams or Jordan Love?
Caleb Williams.
Same. Caleb Williams or Kyler Murray?
Kyler.
I think I'm taking Caleb at this point.
And I think that's fair. That's not crazy.
And I think everybody after that is, I think realistically it should be Caleb. Especially in the offseason where it's value, we value you so much. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I think he's still confidently a top 12 dynasty quarterback. And I mean, if you wanted it, like, I think at the end of the day, like if you're pushing him from 12 to 8, like realistically, there's not really much there. I don't think there's much meat on the bone for 8 versus 12 right now in maybe 9 versus 12 in just overall startups, you know, in the quarterback range. Like, I don't really think there's going to be a bunch of movement or that many picks, I should say, between Drake May, Bo Nix, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams. I really don't. I think they're going to be, you know, drafted within a handful of picks from each other. I think they're very, very replaceable.
And I think that's reasonable. I'll even throw Justin Herbert in there just on the off chance they finally unlock something. Not last game of the season, because that was pretty bad. But let's just talk regular season. I think maybe they unlock something with him running the football a little bit more. So I think Justin Herbert's still in that conversation. But I'm taking all these guys over Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Michael Penix, Jared Goff, like Bryce Young. Like, kind of insert whoever the fuck you want in there. I think they're all reasonably in there. The Drake May thing.
Baker or Caleb, as Dr. B wants to know.
Oh, Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb for sure. Yep.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. The Drake May thing I have is, you want to talk about rookie quarterbacks having success. I mean, it's a 15 point per game score on a terrible. I mean, out of all the rookie quarterbacks, Bo Nix had a bad situation too, but Drake May has by far or away the worst. It's not even fucking close. Worst offensive line, worst weapons, worst everything. It was absolutely fucking horrible. He didn't give a shit. He still went out and had moments of like, God damn, Drake May is good.
If you want, hey, listen, out there, you want to get that team review, come get it, man. We got you. We got you covered. I've been doing them left and right. We got plenty of people on the squad ready to do them. So whatever you want to do, my friend,
So like when
DynastyTeamReview.com. We got you.
When Caleb Williams would put up a 20-point game, you were like, yeah, you got fucking Keenan Allen and Rome and DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift and a semi-competent offensive line.
Yep.
You should do that. When Drake May would go out and put a 20-point per game, I'm like, you got fucking Demario Douglas and Keyshawn Butte and the fucking corpse and one-legged Kendrick Bourne.
Sure. But also, what did we have? Not that the Bears didn't, but what did the Patriots have? They should have earned the 101. Let's just call it what it is. They fired Buddy in a hurry because he lost the 101. You fucked this whole thing up and you lost the 101. But that means that they're trailing in a lot of these games. I mean, I think you can see that whole project has a lot to do. Not Drake May as a project. I'm talking the offensive line was terrible. They're getting him absolutely destroyed in some of those games, Mike.
Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and people aren't going to like to hear this one.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, Drake May, Bo Nix, right? I'll give you those three. People aren't going to like to hear the fourth one.
Okay.
JJ McCarthy. All have the potential for top 5 dynasty quarterback. All of them. There ain't a one of them I can look at and point like, you're eliminated. The only one out of this quarterback class that I look at and I go, you're eliminated from top 5 dynasty quarterback like upside consideration is Michael Penix, just because he refuses to fucking run the football.
Tripping.
I'm not saying he can't be a QB1. I'm just saying he doesn't have that upside because he just fucking doesn't want to run the football ever.
Well, we got Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, football god running the football. You know who puts these ranks up? People that don't necessarily understand that a lot of it goes to rushing. They unfortunately.
It'd be cool if there was a couple guys who did a whole, series on that.
People don't. Come on, Mike.
I think Nick's actually does. I saw it in the Discord trip ground today too that maybe he doesn't have that upside. He was actually very surprising as a runner.
No, right? I think what Trip Crown's saying I kind of agree with though. It's not. I don't think it's actually the rushing. I think the rushing actually does exist. I think the reason is, Mike, he had the year he did, and he's currently like almost behind Caleb because I don't think people want to commit to him in Dynasty. People are very ready to go the other way as opposed to.
I think it's a lot of take lock.
I don't disagree.
I was at on Bo Nix. We didn't really like him coming out. We made fun of him, that kind of thing. What he did this year was most unexpected out of all the quarterbacks, at least for me. Okay, like I expected Jayden to be good. I expected Caleb to have a pretty decent year and probably break every Bears fucking passing record that ever existed, which he was pretty close to.
Sure.
Drake May I knew was fucking good, and even in a bad situation, I thought Drake May would surprise people, and he did. Michael Penix, you and I were championing him. JJ McCarthy, still to this day, I champion him, that he's a much better quarterback than fucking Sam Darnold ever will be. Bo Nix is the one that I had to like pivot on. You know what I mean? Like I did not like him in the pre-draft process at all.
Sure.
I actively made fun of him. When he got drafted, I said, fuck this. I'm going with my process is if you're drafted in the first round as a quarterback, you matter to me. And he was cheap. He was dirt fucking cheap, so I got a shit ton of Bo Nix. The first couple weeks were like, god damn it. Like, I really talked myself into this fucking Bo Nix. He was terrible. He wasn't that good. And then he turned it on, and I would say he is by far and away the most surprising quarterback of this class. So that take lock for me is fucking gone. Like, what he did on the field was extremely impressive with just basically Cortland Sutton, because everybody else was fucking terrible. They were dog shit. What he did, the ability to throw the ball down the field, the ability to throw in tight windows, the rushing production that I did not expect from Bo Nix. I knew he was somewhat athletic, like the same way I think I'm athletic. I'm not anymore. It's fucking gone. It's dead. It's over. But he was surprisingly good at running the football and then really surprisingly good at throwing the ball down the field, especially in the tight windows. And you're talking about a rookie quarterback who come out and damn near scored, 20 fantasy points per game, depending on your format. That's fucking impressive with Cortland Sutton as your only weapon in a Sean Payton offense. So I don't know. Is it hot takey to say that I think if you combine all that, if the offense gets a little bit better, he's a little bit more comfortable in year 2, they get some more weapons, they shore up the offensive line just a little bit more. Marvin Mims continues the late season, like, holy shit, Marvin Mims might actually be something. Could he be a top 5 dynasty quarterback? I think he can. I think he has all the fucking ability and tools to actually be that. Where you're like, damn, Bo Nix is a 400-yard, 5-touchdown runner on the fucking ground, and he can throw the football down the field. He's going to throw damn near 3,900 fucking yards and 30 passing touchdowns as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, it was so good they had fucking dumbasses believing that you should trade a second for Devon Vele. For fuck's sake. Like, that's how good he was. That should be the litmus test. If you have people out there actively championing him for trading a second for Devon Vele, like, you're good. You probably got top 5 dynasty quarterback upside.
I mean, the thing about top 5 though is that you know who's not in the top 5 right now on Q Trade Cut?
Who?
Or I should say he's barely. He's by the skin of his teeth. Jalen Hurts. Like, you don't, whether it's right or wrong. Some people have to anoint you to that spot. Like, you could make the case still very easily, I think, for just dynasty value and how people value Patrick Mahomes that he is, but he's not currently, right? Like, C.J. Stroud after his rookie season. Oh my gosh, Mike, remember him? I mean, obviously we know what he did in his year 2. Speaking of which, that's what C.J. Stroud. I want everybody to remember this. He's the poster child for me right now that we need to just consider for all these guys. Because I'll tell you right now, this is going to be hot taking. People don't want to hear this. I'll bet against. I'll take one. You want to take if you guys think every single one of these quarterbacks in 24 is going to be awesome, I'll take that opposite bet. It's 1 year. A lot of these guys have looked good in 1 year, but we have a lot to find out about their careers still, right? C.J. Stroud is a perfect example of. I'm not even saying he's a bad player or he's not talented or he won't improve, but. Did anyone see him having this season after his rookie year? Fuck no. Fuck no. No, you didn't. Even if I'm not saying you said he was going to be a good fantasy guy, you didn't see him being this poor in his rookie season.
Not that bad.
That's my point. That's my point. We have seen players have very good rookie seasons, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Right? I mean, I'm not saying any of these players are Mac Jones, but Mac Jones had a really good rookie season, and then. Obviously, we know what is the case there. I'm not saying that any of these players are Mac Jones. I'm just giving you examples of rookie seasons. They're like, damn, that's a nice rookie season. And then, oh, shit, like the NFL, it's a different animal, you know?
Life comes at you fast, don't it?
It sure does. So, can Bo Nix get the top 5? He can. But it's going to take... Fuck, I think it would take an act of God. I think there's gonna have to be some injuries, frankly, because I don't think people will put him, whether he deserves it or not, ahead of like how much would it take? Let me just ask you this: how much would it take for Bo Nix, right or wrong, for people to say yes, I'm gonna put him ahead of Mahomes, I'm gonna put him ahead of Jalen Hurts? Like, I think a lot has to happen for those players specifically, but I'm not telling you he can't go higher. Because he did a lot more, I think, than people realize in his rookie season, especially running the football. I'm with you on that for sure.
You're not completely off base, but too, like, how many more of these Patrick Mahomes years do we have to have before people are just done with it? Like, they're just, we're over it. We're good.
I mean, I don't know. It's a great question.
I mean, it's 2 years in a row now we're talking about a back end QB1. At best.
Sure. But
2 years in a row.
But there's this I think whether it's right or wrong, I think people feel with Mahomes, again, this goes back to kind of a fallacy that people buy into. He's going to play for 10 more seasons at a back-end quarterback 1 level. Like, I don't really care. I'm not valuing what people are going to be doing in 5 years for the most part on my dynasty teams, period, right? But people are like, oh, well, he's just guaranteed to be an elite, quarterback 1, let's call it, right? He may not have the upside, but he's guaranteed to stay in that range. And I don't know. To your point, I don't know. To me, like, I'd have to see him fall. Like, just think about this. The only people he's behind, Mike, think who he's behind, is the surefire rushers and greats. That's the only people he's behind in keep trade cut, right? Like, it's Hurts, it's Jayden, Lamar, Allen, and then there is Burrow in there. So Burrow's coming off a historic season for himself. But, like,
well, at this point, Patrick Mahomes is Joe Burrow without the production.
Sure. Right. Well, I mean, also, I think one of the things that people are still waiting for and buying into, at least for now, we'll see if it holds, is him getting back to those old seasons because the weaponry continues to improve, right? So if Rashi was to stay healthy, right? We'll see if that happens. I don't know that it will or not. All right. Let's take a look at some questions, though. Ted is going to be a bust. I hate to say this. I'm not going to put him as a bust guarantee, but I am not out on that camp. I don't feel warm and fuzzy about Ted, to be honest with you, making the jump.
After watching him last Thursday, I'd say like he is pretty solidly for me like that mid to late first round kind of wide receiver where you're like, I got to pay attention because he's in the first round. But
I love Dr. B. No, I'm
kind of
with you.
was like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'll be interested to see what happens with the combine, with NFL draft capital, and where he ends up going in startups. Because, like, I have a feeling right now where he would be going today, just what everybody thinks, I probably wouldn't be drafting him in that spot. But, you know, when things all kind of shake out, maybe I will be willing to take a shot more in the late first or the second.
I mean,
right?
entering into last Thursday, this is like people's 101 or 102.
Like, I'm not drafting this guy top 5 in this class. It's just not happening.
Even in a bad class, it's like
That's what I mean.
that's not a good spot to be, man. He kind of, I don't know. This really sucks to say, man, but he gives off a lot of the Treylon Burks vibes. Like that's kind of where he is, Treylon.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not
I mean,
great position to be in.
I hope it's not Treylon, but there's vibes. If Bo Nix builds on rookie season and does better, people will see 4K passing plus, 500 rushing yards, and take it to the bank. Yeah, I'm not telling you, Crispy, or that anyone here listening that he can't ascend. I think though, for him to ascend from even where is he at? Probably 10. He's 11.
11.
For him to ascend from there, like I think still has to break right for him to go up. I'm not telling you that he can't. To your point, if he comes off of his sophomore year and he has a 500 plus rushing yard year, you know, and looks good again and is starting to check the boxes for people like, okay, maybe he is a long-term, you know, solution at QB. Yeah, I think he could go up. But I also think like how many, what if he had a pocket of like 5 or 6 bad games and a couple of them came on prime time, right? Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't take much for the Dynasty community to also say, I don't know, right? Especially if they have, to your point, take Lock in the bad. They wanted to put him in a bad camp.
Yep, from before. Yep.
Okay,
He was on the verge of smashing through that, right? When they drove right down the field.
Dude,
the fucking
for
Chiefs
sure,
scored.
right?
You're like, look at that.
And then that Chiefs game, somehow they're fucking field goal block, you know? Like, just that whole thing is insane. It makes no sense that if Ward/Sanders go 101, 102 for them not to be top rookie draft choices. Crazy to me that we're drafting these other QBs high, but choose to hate those two. I think Trip Crown, this is one of those things though that the reason I think this makes sense at the time is because we don't necessarily know that for sure. Like if you told me if we can fast forward to May, let's say middle of May, and they did go 101 and 102 or 102, 105. Let's say they're both top 5 picks. I think we'll be looking at the quarterback rankings, and they'll be in the mix of, you know, quarterback 15, 16, right? Realistically, just out of the gates. I think that right now, probably it's because people are unsure. They don't necessarily know how they feel about the players. They really don't know how the NFL feels about them. So I think that's partly why that is the current sentiment. Because to me, I mean, I'm with you. I think Mike's with you too.
Yeah, there's just a lot of question marks, right? We don't know for sure, but you told me that they're both, you know, and I'll say this, if they're both top 10 picks, as good as Jeanty's film was and how awesome he is, I'm taking the 2 quarterbacks over. But we don't know. Like,
sure.
I also have vibes that I'm not saying Shador, he's kind of got a lot of hype, but maybe Cam Ward is one of those guys that's more on the Malik Willis, Sam Howell kind of range.
I was.
I hope not. I hope not.
When I was talking to Brett Coleman about this, he says that he does not think that it's a lock for Cam. He says that he could see it, but he doesn't think that it's a lock for him to be. I'm not going to say that he said that he could be Malik Willis trending, but I'm not going to say that he didn't either.
Yeah, I'm not saying the guy's probably going to be a 5th rounder, but this could also be a guy that we're like, oh yeah, he's definitely going 101, and then fucking like you said, by the time we get to May, we're like, God, you believe that we talked about him in the 101?
What if it's even Will Levis? What if it's Will Levis? What if it's Will Levis? What if he ends up sneaking just outside the first round? Right?
Not a great position.
Will Levis, for all intents and purposes in drafts and mock drafts, was top 10, 12 at like the worst, right? Even towards even when we're getting really close to the draft, it was like 15 maybe, right? At the most, like anywhere from 101 to 15 in mocks. He went round 2. So I still think because there's only 2, I think that they'll end up be going high, but we said the same shit in 2022, y'all. We really did. So
we were there, man. We did them pre-NFL rookie drafts in 2022, and you and I ended up with Sam Howell and Matt Corral all over the fucking place.
That one hurt. A lot of yikes. Is JJ McCarthy plus 26 first, plus 27 first too much for Hurts? I'm a contender, sending my own picks. Still have 2 early 26 first, and this year's 106. No, I don't think so. Because here's what we got. Simon says, surprised to hear Mike talk about JJM's top 5 upside. If you are, you just haven't been tuned into Mike's hate of Sam Darnold, because they kind of go hand in hand. It wasn't even as much about Sam Darnold as it was about JJ McCarthy. So back to this point. Good. Yeah, I mean, I like JJ. I think I like him, especially at this, even with some ascension now, quarterback 19 price. I still like him at that. Do I like him enough to, like, okay, let's say this. The weapons are there, right? He's got Addison. He's got Jefferson. He's got Hawkinson. Weapons are great. I've said this all along. Like, I think there's pot. But do I feel top 5's in the range of outcomes? Sure. Do I feel it's like as rosy as it gets, and would I bet on that? No. So if you're a contender and you have extra capital and you can get into a player like Hurts, I mean, Hurts to me is the one that I would like to acquire the least of, like, my big 4, but I still believe in him. Plus, he's got the contract, the way he plays. So I think for in like a lineup start 9 or start 10, if that's what this is, Superflex 12 team lineup start 9 start 10, I think I'd probably do this. So
let me ask you, replace JJ McCarthy with the 101. Still doing it?
I would say the only difference, I would just wait on the timing. JJ McCarthy to me is an asset that, like, doesn't have that 101, next 3 months giving him that type of a bump. I think McCarthy's value can go up over the next 3 months, but I don't view it as like the 101 flippability. So the 101 I would only hesitate for because I feel like I can maybe I don't have to send that entire amount in a few months. But with JJ, I don't necessarily feel the same way.
This is why we make a good pair. Because I'm going to die on this hill. JJ McCarthy's more valuable than the 101 in this class.
But that's fine. I don't disagree. I actually don't disagree with that point. Like, if you're telling me you rather have JJ McCarthy over, like, the 101 quarterback in this class, that's fine. But the 101 carries something JJ McCarthy doesn't carry. That's the reason I say that, right?
Yeah. You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong at all.
And the reason I say I would hold is because, shit, I don't, with 101, I don't know if you like Cam. I don't know if you like Shador. I don't know if you like Travis Hunter. I don't know if you like Jeanty. But here, you can get all of them. You can get any of them. You can get any one of them. So if it was 101, I'd probably hold a little bit out. With this, if you're looking at year 26 and year 27, you feel really good about your team, I'm fine with it, especially if you have other draft capital to hold yourself on.
If it's your own picks and you feel good about them, do it. If they're not your own picks or you don't feel super confident in it, no. No way.
He says it started 11, borderline then.
26 is going to be a fairly decent class, and I'm telling you right now, 27 is shaping up to be like...
What you don't want to do is send away a 27 pick that has any chance to be a top 6, especially a top 3.
None.
Nah.
None. Zero chance I want to send that pick away right now.
A. Richard Fields. Honestly, I'll tell you this: it's closer to the same
A.
picture, and people want to have a conversation about. It's closer to the same thing that people want to say. It really is.
Well, closer. Nah, I'm riding this fucking. He's working with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's quarterback coach. Fuck it. A. Rich. All the way.
You know what I also heard? Some rumblings of that the Colts are very interested in bringing in Fields.
Stop it.
I swear to you, it's been out there.
No way.
I'm not gonna tell you that it's accurate, but I'd probably give it the same validity as Anthony Richardson. You know, working out with Josh Allen's.
There is something. Just somebody had like a thing on Twitter.
Yep.
Justin Fields to the Colts? Question mark. Exclamation points.
Would you send JT for the 105, hoping to snag one of the QBs or whoever drops if they're taken? So you're looking at. I think it's right. I think it's a right price.
You're in the ballpark.
Honestly, I think I probably would because there's enough value in 25, even though it's not the greatest class value wise. Then, like you're telling me, I'm gonna get either the top receiver, right? I'm gonna get one of these running backs where I just get like at worst, I'm probably resetting my age on running back position. Not that it may not be JT the prospect, but Hampton. All right, there's enough running backs in this class where I feel like I'm probably just resetting the age. So I think I'd probably take 105.
You're more flexible with the 105.
Yeah, I mean, because
yeah.
I'm just looking at Taylor. I still really believe in him, and you saw what happened this year, right? Like running backs that have talent can age just fine. So I'm not like super worried, but you know he's. It's more so the dynasty value for him is kind of going to be just plateaued. Like he's really got no chance to boom in dynasty value anymore.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do it.
You take the 105? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll take the pick.
Gibbs or Bucky in the 101?
Ooh, give me Bucky in the 101.
Same. I'm with you.
Let me down tier off of the god Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, this is where like I still look at it as the 101's value and my ability to flip. So I'm still, that's a positive, but I'm already looking at it as Bucky and Jeanty. say his name right. You know, everyone's getting all excited. Jeanty, Bucky and Jeanty or Gibbs. I mean, just give me Jeanty. You know, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
So I get to have all those 101 flippability points as well. So I'll take it. And I love Gibbs, but this is where to me, the offer has to be correct. Like I'm not just gonna move Gibbs, but any player in Dynasty still is movable for me. So you give me a very exciting young running back, although I think there's risk with Bucky, plus the 101. Yeah, I'm good.
Right, and who's to say you can't down tier off of Bucky again? And just keep adding on.
The Josh Allen QB coach is peak offseason. Yeah, Trip Crown that's not wrong. Like it's what we do.
Come on, man.
But it also is what it is. What are realistic landing spots? Any. I mean,
any.
I mean, it's where would he struggle? If you haven't checked it out, go check out Boise's games. Like when this dude is getting met in the backfield, just met in the backfield, right? I mean, the one that will always stick out to me is if he went to the Chargers. Anybody goes to the Chargers this year, Mike? Like, oh my god, you know what that value is going to be?
Let's just assume top 15.
Okay.
Put the cutoff. No to Atlanta.
Yeah, there's no way they do that. Please, God.
No to Indianapolis. No to Miami.
What do you think of New England?
At 4?
I'm not saying. No, what if they traded back? Right, trade back.
Trade down. Yeah, it could be fine. They got to do something in the offseason with that offensive line, though.
But let's say, Mike, they bring in a free agent. Let's say they trade down. They go from 4 to 10 and I don't know. You know what I'm saying. Let's say they trade down. They get him still.
No, that'd be fine.
I think that would be a potential sneaky, really good landing spot.
Jacksonville, Vegas, no to the Jets. Carolina's probably not happening. Giants? Giants are dumb organization.
Nah. They're so fucking bad. What about Dallas?
Dallas would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas would be awesome.
Yep.
I mean, that'd be exciting. He'd really go up if he went to Dallas.
No, I agree. What? Okay. Oh, you want to hear one that will really pucker people's asshole? We're talking about Bucky. What if Tampa moves up from 19?
Oh, Jesus Christ! You want to just fucking kill everybody? You just want chaos.
I hate this. I'm telling you, they have a. I'm not saying they don't like the kid, but they drafted him in as a day 3 pick. Like, it wouldn't be shocking to see them take a guy in the first round. That's Bush with Jeanty value, right?
Yeah,
Jeanty, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
I think the everybody's out there talking about Chicago at 10.
Of course,
like the spot.
What do you think of it?
Chicago at 10 with Ben Johnson? You know, like it'd kill me because I've been this DeAndre Swift truther for fucking ever. But
let me give you one to really also think about, like possibly crazy high. What if it's Frisco?
Oh, hey, you forget that Brock Purdy was such an ass that they got the 11th pick. Jeanty,
I don't. Shanahan, I could never see it because the way he churns and burns the running backs. Like the trade for CMC was already crazy. But what if he's like, you know what, fuck it, I can't trust this kid to be healthy, getting older. Like, let's go get Jeanty.
Let's go. I can't.
I think that'd be insane. I don't think they do it either.
Fucking ludicrous, but fuck it. Let's watch the world burn. That'd still be fine.
What was the other one I was gonna say? Oh, what about what if the Benson thing, they just write it off, Arizona?
Yeah, we fucked up. We fucked up.
But Connor's ready to die, so we need to do something. You know, let's go crazy this time.
That'd be dope. I'd be excited. He's fucking good. Jeanty is good.
I mean, but here's what I'm saying to you guys. Okay, when I say this with him, we can get all excited about landing spot, but
would New Orleans make you like soft?
Not really. That's what I expect them to do. They have a credit card bill that they're not ready to pay. You know,
like this will fix it.
Yeah, like
Jeanty.
The APR is at 50%. We don't give a shit. Let's keep going. You know,
Flex Seal.
Jeanty and Kamara, all we need. You know. But no, you name anybody on all of them. The only ones that would make me soft are the fact that if we nuke an actual really good value, like if we nuked Bucky, like that would suck, right? If we nuke, like if he goes to the Jets, like don't do that, please, God, don't do that.
Please no.
If he goes to, Miami with Achan, like
yeah, don't do some shit like that, please.
But I'm just saying that none of that is because I think like Jeanty can't thrive in a situation. There's not a situation that he's going to go to. Like if you told me the Browns did it at 2 or Tennessee did it at 1, okay, what the fuck are we doing?
What's happening?
But they're not doing that, and I think there's no other situation there. I'm like, man, there's no way that wouldn't be a good thing for him in fantasy. I don't think it exists.
No, he's really good. Now he's not Bijan, he's not Gibbs.
No, he doesn't have. He's not going to have. Frankly, he's just not going to have the long speed either one of those guys has.
And then that's probably the biggest separator, right?
Yeah.
But in a film session, like you had me as the skeptic, being like, "Fuck, fuck, this guy's good. He's really good." My only hesitation with him is just the pass catching work. Like they pretty much shelved him for a
the Vikings would be amazing too. I don't know that he's gonna make it to 24. That would be fucking sick. Then JJ McCarthy, Mike would be going crazy. Oh my god,
dude! Do you imagine if the Vikings, Chargers?
No, the Chargers to me is the 101 landing spot this year. J.K. Dobbins, listen, it was awesome to see this year, right? But there's just no way you can tell me they're ready to roll with only him, right? At this point,
here's the greatest one. This is me just being an asshole.
Oh no,
the Steelers. They just finally get rid of Najee Harris. Like they let him go, let him move on.
This time,
All these Jalen Warren truthers out here.
be
It's
awesome.
our time. In comes Ashton.
They're like, here he is. Now he's gonna be Austin Eckler. Is he?
Eat shit. Like I want to see that happen. Go on, give me Pittsburgh.
You know what? You know what's kind of awesome about that too? Just thinking about Pittsburgh, right? So they had this crazy situation where they could get Russ and Fields, right? And like Cotton cost nothing to them. Somehow they ended up they go 10-7, they lose the first round, and now they have neither one guaranteed to come back. Like how fucking great is this?
Can we get something like really awesome, like Washington trades up?
Sure. I mean, anything's possible, right? I mean, the thing is they're going to have to go from 29 now at the like it could be anywhere from 29 to 32. So
It's a long way to go.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good spots. Denver would be awesome.
I'm gonna give you one here. Houston.
Wow, those poor Joe Mixon people.
Well, Nixon had a nice little run, nice little ride in the sunset. You know.
I think like Houston, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Cincinnati, like all those spots would make people. There would be the Jeanty truthers, but there'd also be just as many.
Honestly, in this class, I'm not sure, Crispy. I'm not sure that there's. I mean, I could give you a few other names, but I'm not sure that anyone aside from those that you just mentioned are guaranteed to go ahead.
For offense, big difference, right?
True. Yeah.
For offense wise, yeah. Not a lot on the offensive side. Defense, there's some pretty good fucking players.
Of course. I mean, there's going to be. Well, I mean, for the record, those that don't want to hear it, Hunter still might be defense.
Don't put that on me.
Abdul Carter is a fucking absolute. Let me just say, if you don't know, absolute fucking unit problem. Mason Graham, right? I don't know, but
Williams.
Yeah, but how many guys realistically are guaranteed to go ahead of him? I mean, I've seen a mock. I saw a mock today that had Jeanty at 5.
I can see it.
I
say he's got the talent to it. I still want to listen. I think we do film sessions on Caleb Johnson and Amari and Hampton. Like I'll get a few more people on my side of the aisle.
And here's a mock right now for the record already. And this is January that has Cameron Ward going 17. So for those that need any brake pumping, how's that for
17?
How's that for fucking you up, huh?
Not what you want to see.
This is the direction in which we saw a Malik Willis go. You know,
not what you want to see.
It didn't January. It wasn't this early either.
17. So they had him going to the Bengals. No,
they had him.
Had to be a trade.
Yeah, trade.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck?
Trade. Yeah.
Bengals take Cam Ward. What the fuck is happening here?
But I mean, I guess the point though is that with Jeanty, I think realistically you're going to see this kid go in the top 15, and he is probably closer to the top 10, right? So I mean,
yeah.
When you get to it, there's probably 4 or 5 names realistically that I think are very likely to go ahead. I think you put these guys in there, and you add, to me, Abdul Carter is going ahead. I think that guy's fucking stupid.
Travis Hunter's going ahead.
Right. But I'm saying these names here. So you got Hunter, Sanders, Ward, Abdul Carter. I don't know if there's much more, right? Maybe Mason Graham.
I can see it.
But I mean, but this is definitely, right? You're saying like no doubt about it.
No question.
I don't even know if you put Ward on that list at this point. Anyone else?
Let me look at
say very high.
Mel Kiper's right now.
There you go. Sure.
I'd say Michael Williams.
I would agree.
He's kind of a freak. Will Johnson. Will Johnson's gonna go ahead of him.
You think so? I'm looking at a mock right now that doesn't have him going ahead. I want to say
Will
definitely.
Campbell.
If we're saying definitely,
Will Campbell. I want to say Will Campbell and Kevin Banks, but both of those guys too, I've heard question marks here in the last couple weeks. about like, are they guards instead of tackles? And if they're
Tackles,
guards
yeah.
instead
If
of
they're guards,
tackles,
they're more like teens. Exactly.
Yeah, I can't say for sure, but if they're tackles, yes, just because the NFL we see all the offensive line problems.
Right.
That's probably it, though, man.
I'm saying if you're saying definitely, like there's just no doubts. Hunter, Sanders, Abdul Carter. Mike, you're telling me there's a 0%, like it's just a lock. It's probably those four, honestly.
Definitely yes. Now, worst case scenario, right, for Jeanty, he's more a pick in the 20s.
Right, I'd agree. He probably could go 15, 20 latest. I'd agree. So, yeah, but when you say definitely, like I think there is a chance that he'll end up going like 5 or 6, which means, geesh, there's 3 or 4 names. Man,
this is a nice little draft here from Mel Kiper. But I will say, Nick Scorton is another one that I like. Now in Kiper's draft, he's got him going 29 to the Commanders.
Jeanty?
No, Scorton.
Oh, Scorton. Okay.
Out of Texas A&M, defensive end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is kind of in that Abdul Carter mode where when I look at him, I'm like, God damn, he could be good. Now
Sure.
Carter's put it together more consistently.
Scorton
could be one of those guys.
Yeah, Scorton also has a little more a little more project range of outcomes where I'm not saying Abdul Carter, you should be getting with him ready to fucking roll. Like Micah Parson feels, honestly, was what you have with Abdul Carter, frankly.
To your point, though, I think the list is short of guaranteed locks.
Yeah, I think it's 4 players.
Tops.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. All right. Let's ride out on this then. Okay.
Give me one more, and Daddy's got to pee.
All right. Well, I don't actually know.
I told Adam before we started, just by the way, in case anyone was wondering, absolute citron with a lemon, right? A little bit more heavy hitter tonight I have in the past, and for whatever reason, I decided tomorrow was going to be the day that I was going to wake up an hour early to work out in the morning. I think I'll be changing that as soon as we get out here. Maybe we start that shit on Friday.
We don't really have a great question. Here we go. Rob's always got us.
Rob,
when is a good time to retool versus rebuild?
Ooh. And I don't know if I told people on this show about it. I don't know if Big Corey even watches content. Shout out to him. Sometimes people make this decision for you, Rob. Your league will make this decision for you. Mm-hmm. In shit too, Adam can attest. I wanted to rebuild. We had it on the trade show over the summer. I sent away some pieces. They
told you I don't give a fuck what you want. We know what
I wanted to rebuild.
Right.
One of the big things, Big Corey owned my pick. He was trying to compete.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get my pick back, obviously rebuilding. Big Corey told me to fuck off. You don't get to rebuild. I'm going to bend you over for this pick. And
not on my watch.
That's where I decided just to retool. Right? I said, well, fuck that rebuild. Eat shit, Big Corey. I'm not paying the fucking iron price. I'm going to stick it to you. And lo and behold, somebody finished in the money, this guy, and not Big Corey. Fuck you, buddy. Right? I just retooled that roster. So I think a lot of it for me is what your league will let you do between those two decisions, right? Ideally, if I've won a league or I've been successful in recent memory, I want to just go into a rebuild. That's my goal. But if the league won't let you, we retooling. All right, maybe we try to get a little bit younger, a little bit more youthful, and we're just going to run this shit back.
I think simplistically, what people might hear from your comment there, right? And simplistically, it's okay, well, when you should retool versus rebuild, if you have your own pick, right, and you can control it to 101, you'd be like, oh, well, then that's a better time to rebuild. And I think on the surface that's correct, right? Yep. However, I think this is kind of the way I'm viewing it now. Mike is you can attest to this. Somebody that has torn teams down to the studs. Okay, I've done the full nuke. I've done the retool. I've done the failed contender. I've done them all. I've tried all the ways. Right. Here's what I'll say though.
By studs, you don't mean players. You mean like
to the
framework.
To the framework of the no dynasty value assets of my team other than draft picks. Right. But like, here's what I'll say about it. I think realistically for me, because someone was on here talking about team review, right? When I look at a lot of different teams and all these team reviews, and I have, all the teams I'm looking at with myself and what I want to do in today's dynasty market, I think it's pretty simply this for me. For a retool and a rebuild, when I'm looking at teams right now, I look at first and foremost, what in this format that I'm in, and most people are playing in a lineup, start 9, start 10, start 11 league for the most part, right? So in that format, like, what do I have on my team currently? Do I have leverage, one? When I say leverage, do you have elite players at the quarterback position? Do you have an excess at quarterback, right? Can you quarterback or do I have some point of leverage, draft picks, high-end wide receivers? Do I have 4 of the top 12? They're all young. I saw my last team review. Somebody had Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, Drake London. 4 of the top 11, and they're all young, right? That would be a point of leverage. Do you have a point of leverage? And then also, do you have assets that you really want to build around in this format? If you have, let's say, an elite quarterback and one that can get into that range, like Drake May and Jayden Daniels, right? Let's say you had, if you have the assets that you want to build around, you don't really need to rebuild, right? If you have the cornerstone assets, you don't need to tear this thing all the way down. You don't need to go that far. It's probably better to retool. I think a lot of it comes down to, realistically, where is my team? How much of a cleanup is this? And then to your point, the biggest, final, and most important thing at the end of the day is going to be, what does your team let you, what do the other teams let you do? Mike has to piss. What do the other teams let you do? Do they let you actually go, fully rebuild? Can you go get draft picks, or are they all picked over? The other thing about fully rebuilding is you're probably going to want to grab a bunch of those draft picks, right, in future classes. But if this is a league where everybody has all the draft picks already spoken for, you can't really rebuild as well, so you're probably going to want to retool. So I think those are all the things that I would consider in a retool versus a rebuild. I think the team that you're dealing with, what assets you have, and then ultimately what your league's going to let you do. But Adam has been around the block. That's true. I've been churned and burned, man. I've been tossed around like a rag doll. Been around the block.
Been around the block, man. Just as my,
I'm still Adam from the block.
My 8-year-old daughter's knocking on the fucking door. Is
that what that was? I thought you had to urinate so bad you had to leave.
No, 2.5 fucking hours ago she went to bed.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Just give me that. I can't sleep. My tummy hurts. Get your ass back in bed.
Trip, don't you even do that to me. If the Browns at 102 drafted a running back, I would just... Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked. It's just what we do. We're that bad.
So we definitely know I ain't making that AM workout. All right, it happens.
I love that. Would y'all send? Last question. Would y'all send a 112 for Terry at this point or later in the offseason? No, not right now. It's not that it's not that the value's not correct. It's not that I wouldn't want Terry. There's just I'm about to go into a 7-month stretch where I'd rather have the 112 in value, right? Just the youth movement.
Yep.
So that's the only reason I wouldn't do it right now.
Same page, man. No need to know.
Same page. Mike with the Citron just running through his bones. I love to see it, man. Love to see it.
I'm gonna go give an 8-year-old fucking little girl just a little,
all right.
Absolute.
I love that. Get her to sleep. She'll be asleep quick. I want to get, before we leave, your predictions here. What are we seeing this weekend? What are we seeing in the Super Bowl?
Ooh, we're going Eagles. Let's go fuck Eagles Bills. All right, Eagles Bills in the Super Bowl. It's gonna happen. All right.
So you think the refs finally get out of the way, huh?
I ain't gonna get on all that, but yes. I think the Bills get it done. Bills finally get it done, and definitely Eagles are favored. I'm gonna be a very disappointed, sad puppy, but it will be an awesome story with the thumbnail. Jayden Daniels. If Jayden Daniels makes the Super Bowl in his rookie fucking year, you think his value can't go any higher? Watch.
That's eerie. That was
Watch,
eerie.
but I'm going Eagles, Bills, Super Bowl. And of course, I'm going to go the homer pick. Eagles beats Bills.
I'm going rematch. I'm going Eagles, Chiefs, and we're going to see if speaking of the refs, see if we can get a rematch without the refs messing that last drive up. Remember how awesome that game was until that happened, man?
Until like the bullshit holding call on
Right.
James Bradbury on fucking Juju Smith-Schuster, who can't create separation. Fuck.
It would be crazy. Well, let's just say this: while the Commanders are dogs, they were also 9.5-point dogs, and they just beat the Lions. So don't count them out. I got the Eagles and the Chiefs. We'll see what happens. I think everybody wants to see the Bills. I really do. Even Chiefs fans might want to see the Bills at this point. So
I doubt Chiefs fans want to see
they might just so that they're like, hey, the refs aren't cheating. Okay, we didn't win this one. All right. Did you see that? Mahomes was like, I don't think the refs are, making any crazy calls. No, I think. What? Just don't answer the question. Just stop.
I'm probably dead wrong. It's going to be like Chiefs fucking Commanders. That's what's going to happen.
That'd be pretty awesome. But
Dude,
let us know
could
what.
you imagine if JayDay wins the Super Bowl in his rookie year?
I can imagine insufferable. I can. Insufferable.
It's a win-win
right
for
here.
me. it's a win-win for me. I'll be sad for a minute, and then I'll fervently put on my Jayden Daniels jersey and root for the Commanders in the Super Bowl.
If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, are you gonna be okay with them sitting Saquon now?
No.
Okay.
No, he still should have played.
All right.
Want that rush?
There you have it. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, to talk about who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Let us know in the comments who you want to see. We're out of here. Peace.